What's up, everybody? It's Meech. Tune into On the Radar, where we cover health, fitness, and tech. Wanted to have a conversation with you guys about some stuff. By the way, I'm testing. Why do I have my toothbrush in my hand? Um, I'm testing some product. You guys may or may not know. I do a lot of testing for different companies. That's one of my side hustles. That's one of my side businesses. I do a lot of testing. You guys see me. I used to do a bunch of reviews for different products and stuff. I kind of got away from that on the channel for now, but I told you guys in some other videos, I still do different, and this thing is shaking, so bear with me. I do still do a lot of product reviews for companies. I test out stuff, and that's what I'm currently doing. So it's actually a phone holder. I don't usually record with my phone, but it's a phone holder with a light and all that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of different. So that's why I'm recording something to test it out. But I wanted to talk to you about something. I have this conversation a lot with a lot of friends and family. We have this pandemic going on, and there's a lot of things that are changing. A lot of things probably will not go back to normal, ever. We have that possibility. A lot of people are out of work. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of businesses are going to get shut down. A lot of businesses are going to go out of business and bankrupt and all that stuff. There's millions of people right now that are on, what do you call it? I can't think now. There's a lot of people that are applying for unemployment. And I keep telling people to, moving forward, think of some things, think about starting a business, think about, doing things that are like recession proof and pandemic proof. Now, this is something we have to think about. We have to think about being pandemic proof. So you don't want to work for somebody all your life. A lot of us don't have the mentality to work for ourselves, but we need to really start changing that mentality. Now, I kind of touched on that in another video. I want to go into that even deeper at some point, but what I really want to talk about is start grooming your kids. If you have young kids, start grooming your kids to be different. Now, a lot of us growing up, we didn't get taught certain things. If you're from where I'm from, you didn't get taught certain things by your parents. It just is what it is. You didn't get, you may not have been, groomed to think independently as far as being an entrepreneur. You may not have been encouraged to explore those ideas, and you probably didn't have anybody around you to show you and guide you on how to do those things. You may not have been exposed to the stock market, investments and savings and retirement and all that type of stuff. You may not have been shown how to balance a checkbook. It's all of these things that if you recognize as an adult that you weren't taught these things, be very, very mindful that you don't pass those things on to your kids. So even now as an adult at this stage, if you were not versed in certain things, take the time now, especially during this pandemic, everything shut down. A lot of us have a lot of free time. Take that time to start learning new things that are not only going to be beneficial to you, but beneficial to your kids and their future. You understand? So don't feel uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to learn with your kids. So, sometimes parents are in a situation where they don't know something, but because they don't want to look or feel vulnerable to their kids, they don't want to put themselves in a position where you snatch up your 5-year-old, your 10-year-old, your 15-year-old and say, come on, let's go learn this together. I don't know this. This is something I couldn't teach you because I didn't know it. And now we both need to learn this. And especially for the kid, you need to learn this because you can take advantage of these things, at an earlier age and be much better off than I am now as an adult. And then your kid can be able to set their kids up better and just, it can just go and go and go. So all of those things, take your time. And like I said, learn with your kids. If you don't understand the stock market, start learning. Even if you say, well, I don't have money to invest, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to start investing. Just keep it as simple as turn on MSNBC, watch the stock market channel. Just start learning, start familiarizing yourself with it, and sit your kid down with you, and let them start learning these things from early on. You know, children especially, they absorb stuff very quickly, and when they latch on to something, they get really, they just want to do it. They be intense, they be focused, and their mindset is different because they're still pure. They don't have all the negative things that we have running around in our heads that tells us we can't do something. You introduce something to a kid, he doesn't have the concept, he or she, that they can't do it. You'll have if you start ingraining these things into your kids when they're young. And another problem is you wait for the schools to do it. The schools aren't going to do it. Schools don't teach you how to manage a checkbook. Schools don't teach you about stocks. Schools don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur and start a business. You have nowadays, kids can start a business at 10, whether it's on YouTube or whatever it is, and they could be a millionaire by the time they're 12. Think about that. Start learning and learning with your kids. Start teaching your kids. Sit them down in front of, like I said, the market channel. My mind's running too fast. I can't pull the thoughts in. Start letting them watch the finance channel. Letting them watch Shark Tank. Let them start experiencing things. Let them start when your kids come to you with an idea, don't shoot it down. And if they show interest in something, help to facilitate it, even if it sounds crazy. If your 5-year-old says, I want to be the next Elon Musk and start Tesla, don't tell them that they can't do it. Say, okay, go get them a book so they can read about Elon Musk and how he got started. Let them start learning about the company and the products and the person. Let's just start facilitating those things. Again, if you bring up the kids early on, something else I keep telling people that I know, don't wait till they're 15. Don't wait till they're in school. Like I said, I was saying, the schools aren't going to teach them these things. Don't wait till they're a certain age, because if you wait till they're teenagers, they're probably already going to be programmed to think a certain way. They're probably going to be already distracted by so many other things in the world that you're not going to properly reach them. Start these kids now, the same way you teach your 2 and 3-year-old their ABCs and whatever else. Start teaching them the basics of how to actually survive and build wealth. Think about if you was taught these things from day one. Think about where you would be. Think about if nobody ever shot down your ideas or just made you feel like you couldn't do something. Think about where you would probably be right now. So don't let that go over your head when it comes to your kids. If you got young kids, even if you don't have kids yourself, if you got just young kids around you, in your family, friends, just expose them to things you wasn't exposed to. Teach them and let them grow. Let them build. Let them, you just take that initiative. But again, even as an adult, it's never too late to start learning and doing things that you haven't learned before. With this pandemic, a lot of things are shut down. A lot of things are going to be different. How are you going to survive moving forward? If you're out of work right now and you have to file for unemployment and you're waiting for a stimulus check, what are you going to do the next time when something else happens? As you already know, you're probably in a hole right now. Now, once things do open back up, you're going to go back to work, but now you're going to have to dig out of the hole because you have to make up for all these bills. Those bills are not going to stop. You know that. I know that. So if you can't or don't have to, or whatever the case is, even certain companies, they're furloughing certain bills so you don't have to pay it within 2 or 3 months. But when things open up, you're still going to be liable for those things. And even if they give you 3 months, they're still going to expect you to pay and whatever else is currently owed after those 3 months. And we know that that's not possible. So put yourself in a position where you can be recession proof, you can be pandemic proof, you can be in a different position the next time something happens. Learn from this. I keep stressing to everybody, learn from this situation. Don't just sit around idle. Use this time to learn new things. There's so much you can research. That you can Google everything now. You can look up stuff on YouTube. There's a million documentaries and this and that and books. There's no reason why Everybody doesn't have a side hustle or side business. And like I said, start grooming your kids to have that type of mentality so that they don't have to grow up working for somebody. My wife says this all the time. People who are working for somebody, and for the people who don't understand the entrepreneurial mindset, the person, anybody, if you're working a job, if you are an employee, you are helping to facilitate someone else's dream, someone else's hustle, someone else. They're that entrepreneur and you're the worker. There's no reason why you can't be that entrepreneur, that boss, that businessman. A lot of people run around talking about, oh, I'm a boss. But you're not. You're a worker. You don't even have a boss mentality. You have to start changing that. If you're going to say certain things and act a certain way, you got to start actually being about it and living it. Now, again, these things take time, but start learning. Because I don't want to hear anybody make any excuses in the comment section saying, well, it's too late for me, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources. Listen, that's all an excuse. Again, everything's not going to happen overnight, but you can start laying the groundwork for these things to happen over time. So there's no excuse. You really have to ask yourself this question. If you are out of work, or if you're struggling right now, do you want to keep being in this situation? People that have businesses and they're entrepreneurs and they're rich or they're successful, they're no smarter than you. A lot of these people didn't finish high school. If you don't know this, look it up. Most of the most wealthiest people did not come from money. They didn't have it handed to them like, Donald Trump and certain people that have money passed down. Everybody's not like that. All Fortune 500 company CEOs are not like that. So don't let that be an excuse for you. A lot of people who are highly, highly rich and successful dropped out of school, never got their diploma, all of that type of stuff. They didn't go to college. They focused on a specific thing that they was into. They mastered it and they made it happen. However they had to make it happen. So don't stop the excuses. Stop thinking somebody is smarter than you because they've achieved something that you are afraid to even learn about. It's not a matter of somebody being smarter. It's not a matter of somebody being more connected. It's not about somebody being put in a position. It's none of that. It's just the drive, the belief, and the understanding that you can make it happen. Now, some people say, well, I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't care about that. You don't have to be. Only thing you really want to be, if that isn't your aspiration, only thing you want to be is financially comfortable so that at the minimum, you can at least cover your bills, not have to worry about being in a jam, and you can do the things that you want to do. If at the minimum, that is what you want out of your life, there's no reason why you can't achieve that. Get a side hustle, get a business, do something. Do something where you're making money on your own, independent from being an employee of someone. You can get fired, anything can happen. If you're making money for yourself, if you're in business for yourself, if you are your own boss, you cannot get fired. You cannot lose your job. You do not have to worry about where the next paycheck is coming in. Even if you decide to start your own business and still work a 9 to 5, okay, now you have you have a different source of income coming in, and then if anything ever happens to your job, you got this other thing over here. Let's really just start, doing a little bit different. But again, I have to stress, if you have kids, start encouraging them and introducing them to all of the things that you wasn't introduced to. Stop using the excuse, I'm going to say this again, stop using the excuse that you was not exposed to these things. Because you can now expose yourself to these things. There's way too much information out there. There's way too much possibility out there. So if you are not taking the effort to better yourself and to better your kids, you are neglecting your kids, you are neglecting your family, you're neglecting everyone's future. Really, really, really seriously, just think about that. Get the fear out of your heart, get the fear out of your mind, get the just all of that. We ain't got no time for that. We ain't got no time for doubt, anxiety, fear, stress, worrying, none of that. It's time to grind. It's time to make things happen. It's time to survive. That's straight up survival tactics. There's a lot more that I want to say. And I'll probably do another video, but just really, really think about that. Let's talk about this in the comment section, all across the board. Wherever you fall in this situation, if you are unsure, if you have doubts, if you're doing things, if you're following those things, I want to hear from everybody. Let's encourage each other. Let's hear what the other people have to say. Let's help each other. Let's try to move forward. Let's share ideas, all of that. Please hit the like button, people. Till next time, stay focused, stay fit. Definitely hit that notification bell and share the video. YouTube has been trying to shut me down. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been uploading like that. And I spoke about it in the video right before this one. Salute.